Episode number 2 of the review series. I always review stuff on this channel, this is nothing special. But like I mentioned in my community post, I'm going to Florida at the end of the week, so I'm trying to get as many videos made and edited and posted as possible. So I have stuff to deliver to you guys while I'm away because chances are I can't do much work while I'm gone. I'm gonna film a little bit while I'm there, but I'm not gonna be able to do too much editing, so I'm not gonna be able to make any actual videos. So right now we're doing a rapid fire review series so I can have some content to deliver to you guys while I'm gone. Today we're trying something new. Everyone's seen Anabolic pizza. You've seen the pita flatbread pizzas, but a lot of the really simple personal pizzas are usually just a Joseph's pita bread with some turkey pepperoni and some fat-free cheese. Throw it in the microwave for like 5 minutes and boom, recipe. Not today. A lot of people in the community that make Anabolic recipes, but only one of them, as far as I'm aware at least, has actual culinary experience, has actually been a pro chef, has actually done this for a living. So today we're gonna be reviewing MINA AYOUBS 9-inch thin crust pizza that has the same amount of calories as a Cliff Bar. Every part of this recipe is made from scratch, from the sauce to the dough, everything. We gotta do it all by hand. It's gonna be a few steps. In this video, I'm not only gonna be reviewing the actual pizza, I'm also gonna be comparing it to a typical generic Anabolic pizza that we like to see on the Joseph's flatbread. But it's gonna take a few steps to achieve the pizza that MINA made in this video. So what I wanna do is I wanna make that pizza, taste it, let you know if it's good or not. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be freaking awesome. But I wanna know if the process of making it, the amount of time and the amount of ingredients required is worth it compared to just taking a flatbread, slapping some cheese and pepperoni on it, and calling it a day, because that takes 30 seconds. And you know me, if you've been following me for a long time, I'm a man of convenience. Speaking of being a man of convenience, I typically gravitate towards easier recipes. A lot of the recipes I review on here might take you about 10 minutes to put together tops. So today we're really challenging our culinary skills. We're gonna determine if I have any merit in the kitchen. I mean, yeah, I make recipes and I'll review recipes as well and act like I know anything about food, but my recipes I consider to be a little more accessible, a little simpler, because obviously I lack the culinary experience. But because MINA has actual culinary experience and he's been doing this for a living, he's gonna bring that element that not all of us creators can really offer to you guys. He's gonna know all the details, he's gonna know all the big words that we use. Like for example, aromatics. I didn't know what that was until I watched one of MINA's videos. I didn't know it was a thing. Then he's like, we're gonna add our aromatics. I'm like, what the f is an aromatic? But today we're gonna find out if all that authenticity and all those steps is worth it compared to a generic, run-of-the-mill, Anabolic Joseph's pita bread pizza. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Ethan. I do diet videos, I do fitness videos, I do vlogs, I do recipe reviews. We do a lot of stuff on this channel. I don't really do one particular thing, so don't expect me to always do one thing. You never know what you're gonna get in the next video. So guys, if you want to be a part of the fun, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you don't miss out on content like this. And for those of you that don't know, MINA, my man, is also sponsored by Jacked Factory. That's right. If you guys are interested in any supplements off of Jacked Factory, whether it be a whey protein, a pre-workout, anything like that, you can use my code Ethan20, or you can use MINA's code MINA. He doesn't have the 20, it's just his name. Kind of exclusive, but I'll get there one day. But you can use one of our codes, you can get 20% off anything on their website. I truly believe in their supplements, so if you guys want to dip your toes, you know what to do. Link in the description. My recipes are much simpler, so I want to preface this by saying I'm usually not doing very chefy stuff. I blend bread. That's my thing, I blend bread. So I'm not very keen with minced garlic and olive oil and aromatics and stuff, so I'm gonna look like a noob. Bear with me, okay? But anyways, let's get right into it. We are going to need double O flour, not plain white flour. This stuff right here, this is Caputo. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. This is what MINA suggests in his video, but anything that has the 00 is what you want. You're going to need salt. We're gonna need yeast. You can use any tomato sauce you want. I'm actually gonna be making tomato sauce from scratch because like I said, I'm trying to put on my chef's hat today. I'm trying to be like MINA. I'm trying to actually make my ingredients instead of opening a bunch of cans and pouring it in a bowl. We're trying, we're having fun. We are going to need olive oil, garlic, oregano. You're gonna need some mozzarella, Romano cheese, and basil, which I didn't get. Sorry. Basil's just the leaves that you put on the pizza. I'm sorry, I'm missing that. I'm not going to the store for leaves. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get these videos out, man, so bear with me. Kitchen weapons, you're going to need a knife, a cutting board, a metal bowl, your food scale. And because I'm making my own sauce, I'm gonna use my Ninja blender, but if you're gonna use canned sauce, you can just skip that. You guys know me. I'm probably forgetting something. So we're just gonna move forward and we'll figure it out. Yeah. So I got you at this angle because I want you to see what's going on in the bowl. We're gonna start by making our dough. What you guys wanna do is add 100 grams of this flour to a bowl. He says in his video that this stuff right here gives you the best result for a pizza crust. And the first thing that I noticed is this stuff feels like baby powder. It is so fine compared to white flour. Now we're gonna add a little bit of salt as well as a gram of yeast. I'm using instant yeast, which is what he uses in his video. If you guys don't have this particular kind, he gives you all the directions and explanations if you want to use an alternative. And finally, we're gonna add 75 grams of water. Okay. He says to have the water at about 120 to 130 degrees, but if you don't have a thermometer, you want it to where you can keep your finger in for about 5 to 10 seconds. Once your dough is mixed thoroughly, just cover it up and we're gonna set it aside for about 20 minutes. So while that dough sits, we have to make our sauce. And the first thing he instructs us to do is to take a clove of garlic and we gotta mince it. He's got a video where he displays his knife skills and demonstrates how to properly mince garlic. Mina, you underestimate me. Yeah, watch out. And you call yourself the chef. In one fell swoop, an entire jar of minced garlic. I'm so done. All right, we gotta cut this up. Okay, that actually was kind of a mess. I'm not gonna put that in the video. But anyways, let's go over to the stove. So the dough is over there rising, doing its thing. I got the garlic over here. I got everything we need to make the sauce. So we got the oven on right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a spoon and we're just gonna do about a teaspoon of olive oil. Now, in goes the garlic. While the garlic sizzles, we're gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of oregano. What I like that he did is he didn't add it after the tomato sauce. He's putting it in with the garlic to saute. I think that really does a great job at bringing out a lot of the flavor. I'm not great in the kitchen, but I know that when you heat spices separately, it does activate a lot more flavor. So put the oregano in prior to adding the tomato sauce. Speaking of the tomato sauce, everything's homemade today. So this is about 1 cup of tomatoes. I'm gonna throw it in the Ninja blender bullet. That's right, the Ninja has multiple uses. We're just gonna blend these tomatoes up real quick. We're just gonna work all that in there for a bit, let that cook up. Might add a little bit more salt because I love salt. Oh wow, that smells good. We set the sauce aside and now it looks like our dough is ready. We're gonna grab our flour and we're just gonna give the counter a very light dusting. He says not to do too much, but enough to where it's not gonna stick. So what we wanna do now is take our dough and we're gonna put it right on the counter. I don't have a bench scraper like him, so I'm just using a spoon. And we're only gonna wanna use half. So we're gonna take half of the dough and we're just gonna shape it into a ball. So he says we don't wanna introduce too much flour to the dough that we currently have, so I just brush some of the flour away. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our ball and we're gonna roll it on the surface. In this case, it's gonna be my countertop. And we're just gonna keep rolling it because apparently the friction does something. Now we're just gonna take our dough balls and we're gonna let them proof for about an hour. You're gonna notice that most of the flour we put on the counter or the surface that we worked on is still there. And the reason for that is Mina says you wanna introduce the least amount of flour as possible after taking the dough out of the bowl. So I'm pretty sure that the flour itself is more so just an insurance policy to make sure it doesn't stick to whatever surface you're using. And it probably just pulls up a lot of the moisture, but you're not gonna use most of it. So clean the surface, let the dough proof, let your sauce sit. Now we're gonna get our toppings ready. So these dough balls have been proofing for about an hour. They're just about ready to get flattened out, dressed, and put in the oven. But there's a test that we gotta do. If we press our finger into the dough and the hole stays, we did this right. Let's get it. So it just occurred to me that I have 2 dough balls and I only made 1 serving of sauce. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have 1 pizza that has homemade dough, homemade sauce, homemade everything. I'm gonna have 1 pizza that has the homemade dough with the generic Anabolic turkey pepperoni fat-free cheese topping. And then finally, we're gonna make the generic Anabolic pizza on the pita bread. Obviously, I gotta stick to my deficit, so I'm not gonna eat all 3 in one sitting. I'll just save it for later. But we're gonna do a taste test. So now, you guys get to enjoy watching me try to toss this thing around. I don't have a pizza stone or a quarry tile, so I'm just gonna use a metal tray. I don't think that's gonna make a huge difference. I don't really have any other alternative. So the oven's preheating to 550. I got 2 dough balls right here, and I have 2 separate trays. I'm gonna lightly flour each tray so it doesn't stick once we pull it out of the oven. Now you guys get to watch me attempt to toss around pizza dough and make a 9-inch crust. So here we go. Woo! I don't know why I did that. I wanted to try it. I don't know if you guys can tell just how thin this is, but you can almost see my finger through the dough. It's very thin, it's very stretchy, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Okay, this one's giving me a much harder time. It keeps sticking to itself, like a flap will fold over kind of, and it just sticks. So this one is just giving me hell. Why was this one so much easier than this one? It's not working. So here's an example of what you want to look for when it comes to your crust. I didn't rip it apart, I didn't re-roll it, I didn't do anything like that. When we come over here, we still got a decent sized crust, but they're starting to see a little bit of tearing, some holes. That's because when I messed up, I balled it up and then I kept trying to flatten it out. And I think it messed with the bondage in the dough, but I could be wrong. So if you guys make the recipe, don't do what I did here. If you have a little bit of a rip, just keep going. You're gonna wind up with something like that. So with this pizza, we're gonna add the homemade sauce. We're just gonna spread this around gently. And this one's a bit smaller, but we're gonna use the typical ingredients on here. I'm just gonna use Prego no sugar added tomato sauce, and we're gonna see how that does. With the eyeball test, you can already tell there's an insane difference. We're just gonna start to spread out chunks of mozzarella. I'm gonna be using the mozzarella sticks that you typically see in my videos because it's mozzarella. I don't care if it's a freaking cheese stick, it's the same thing. And on this side, we're just gonna use fat-free mozzarella. I'm gonna put this one in the oven first, then I'm gonna put the pita bread one in, then I'm gonna put this one in last because I'd rather this one be fresh. So I'll see you guys in a bit. And finally, all 3 pizzas are done except we're missing 2 ingredients. One of which is your thug jug. Make sure you're drinking a gallon of water a day. No exceptions to that rule. Even MINA knows. See, if MINA's got his thug jug, you should have your thug jug as well. No exception. And secondly, freshly cracked, please. The recipe doesn't even call for it, but you know what? I really wanted to do it. It's not often I get to review MINA, so freshly cracked, please. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. I always use normal pepper. Freshly cracked, you smell it way, way more. You know what? I'm gonna roll with this from now on. That's why he's the professional and I'm not. So the reason we're down in the kitchen and not in the review spot is because my room looks like a tactical nuke went off. So I'm not gonna show you guys that. But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the normal run-of-the-mill average anabolic pizza that really rose to prominence when the anabolic diet first took off. After that, we are gonna try the pizza that incorporates MINA's crust, but the normal anabolic toppings. And we are gonna end off on this pizza with MINA's crust, the homemade sauce, the mozzarella, everything. This one, we pulled out all the stops. This one took 45 seconds. I do wanna warn you guys ahead of time, I didn't do the greatest job at making the surfaces I cooked these on non-stick, because once I took it out of the oven, I had to scrape so much to pull these pizzas off of the pan, and it resulted in a lot of the crust kind of breaking off. So I'm obviously not gonna count that towards how I grade it because that's on me. I didn't follow the step properly. If you guys want a better strategy or a better approach, make sure you just watch the original video. Obviously, I'm gonna have that link down below. But guys, I've been doing this for about 3.5 hours. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And without further ado, taste test number 1. Bottom of the barrel, but the most accessible. Cheers. I mean, it's not bad. It's about what you'd expect with a pita bread pizza with fat-free cheese. Its most redeeming quality is the convenience. It's one of those things where it's like, I have work in 10 minutes, but I want pizza. There you go. Next up, we got the pizza that incorporates MINA's crust as well as the run-of-the-mill anabolic toppings. So, wow, that crust just cooked beautifully. Pizza number 2. Cheers. Huge difference already. Dude, just the crust alone is night and day. I'm not even joking. This is such a huge difference. Like this, I liked it. Then I went to this, and I really like it. And now I don't want any more of that. The crust just made such a difference. I didn't expect it to be that significant. Now, don't get me wrong, I knew the crust would be delicious. I just didn't think it would utterly RKO the crap out of that pizza. This put it to shame. If I had to grade that on taste, I would probably give it about a 4.5 to a 5. That doesn't mean it's disgusting. I'll probably end up making it again in the future because it's, like I said, very convenient. But even though the edge of this is very crispy, it's still just really soggy and gross in the middle. You can't make it a crispy, dense kind of dough. The crust just adds an entirely new layer, entirely new element to this. I would put this at probably an 8.4, 8.5, because obviously the toppings aren't anything special, and that's a big part of the pizza. But the crust just 180 this entirely. Now, like I said, this one stuck pretty bad because I didn't do a good job at non-sticking the pan that I cooked it on. So it's not gonna look great. It's probably gonna have, yeah, the crust is gonna fall off a little bit. But ignore that, that's my fault. I'm here for the taste. So before I take a bite, this thing is sub 300 calories, and this is some restaurant quality pizza. I can already smell it. I saw the mozzarella melting and boiling in the oven. Oh, okay. Final pizza, man. This is gonna be an experience. Cheers. That is a 10. That is just a 10. Having mozzarella that has fat in it as opposed to the fat-free, night and day. The garlic comes through so much in the sauce, and I love that about this. It almost gives it a little bit of a sweetness. When I blended up that tomato and I cooked it, a lot of the water kind of evaporated out. It thickened up a little bit, and it gave a beautiful consistency. The garlic really comes through as well as the oregano. I'm glad that he cooked the oregano prior to adding the sauce, and I'm glad I blended up a tomato as opposed to using store-bought, because it just tastes much fresher. It tastes much more authentic. I have a lot of wood fire pizzas in my area. There was this one pizza joint called Napa's, and it was only wood fire pizza. I would always go there after football practice with my friends. I would go there on dates. I went there all the time. I found every excuse to go there. Every time my friends and I linked up, I'd be like, yo guys, do you guys want to go to Napa's? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. This feels like that. I'm pissed that there's not more reviews on Mina's videos. Like, that upsets me a little bit. More people need to try this. More people need to know the difference between taking your time and being convenient. This is honestly like really eye-opening. And that's how the cookie crumbles. Dude, I always preach convenience, but I don't even really want this anymore. I'm gonna take another bite just to compare again. It doesn't even taste good anymore. You guys ever just have that one food or that one snack that you enjoy a lot, and then you try a way better version of it, and then you're like, yeah, screw this, I'm never eating that again. That is that pizza right there. I know it takes a little bit of time. It took me way longer because I'm filming, obviously. But for you guys, it might take you about an hour, hour and a half because the dough is to proof, has to sit in the oven, stuff like that. If you have the free time, make this. It might look like there's a few more steps. They're not that complicated, okay? This was just my first time. I don't expect to perfect a recipe on my first go. But if you got the time to make this, I at least recommend trying it. Don't make it all the time if you can't, but try it once. It's a phenomenal experience. The crust is night and day next to that dinky freaking pita bread. Like, my God, dude. Unreal. See, I'm typically very busy and I usually do a lot throughout the day, so I don't really see a window where I can make this in my free time, at least not often. But I'll tell you what, if that free time happens, I'm making it. I'm doing it. If I have any friends over, if I do anything like that, I am serving them this pizza. I am making them this pizza. Guys, that is it for me. Please go check out Mina's channel and please go subscribe if you aren't already. I'm assuming that the majority of my subscribers probably already check out his content and probably already subscribe, but if you aren't already, go do it. And subscribe to me as well. But anyways, guys, that is it for me. If you have not already, please drop a like down below and smash that subscribe button. Ring the bell to be notified when I drop more videos like this, and leave a comment if you got a suggestion for a video in the future. Appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace.